My last big hurdle here, the last thing we need to figure out and do, and then the woodwork is done besides all the sanding and rounding and all that shit. We need a control cavity. We need a control cavity. And we have not left a whole lot of room. This was the plan all along. I wanted to sink enough that your standard cable is not the more unflexible part of the cable will kind of be recessed. So I mean, and it should, this way it shouldn't interfere with anywhere you actually try to play this from. But where, I don't know. Ooh, I might have drawn that a little off. Yeah, I drew it a little off. Okay. Okay. So I know basically where that ends, and we need to leave, I don't know, at least a 1/4 inch of material to mount the in-pin jack to. Now, I think I'm going to have to make these knobs shorter. Alright, looking at the face, I'm thinking, something like that would probably be alright. So the knobs aren't too close together so that they're a pain to actually, reach and use. But also they're kind of out of the way so you don't... However, between the restrictions of the jack, our nifty word for hole here, we're really limited on what we can, and the carve here, we're pretty limited on what we can actually pull off. Now, between the jack and the wall, we can get one. Over here in the corner, we can get one. And I figure about 1.5 inches apart. So, I mean, on the back, there's only so much we can do. It kind of dictates placement, really. Which, best I can tell, just by the super accurate scientific method of sticking a finger where I'd marked here, mine ended up here. We came up with these 3 spots. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but I do think we need to shorten the knobs. In the meantime, that's probably not the best time to do it, but I don't see why. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. I kind of want to play with the die. See what we can do. I'm still waiting for my in-pin jack. I had to order the one I had, besides being the wrong color, appears to be dead. It doesn't seem to work. So, but this can actually be. So, that's what I'm thinking. But I'm thinking I might ought to wait for the in-pin jack to come. However, we could, without it being here, just, build a template for this cavity shape, plan on this being the shape, and, expecting that we will have enough room in there, no matter what the end pin looks like, to place those pots somewhere. Kind of makes me wish we'd gone with 2 pots instead of 3. But I want 3. And it's already wired up for my crazy ideas, so. chisel. Yeah, well, you get the picture. Oh, MDF is so gross. I'm going to eyeball my edges, and for these three sides, I should be able to just use this as a straight edge. And then, I don't know, we may be able to use the spindle sander to get the curve. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. May still need a little work, but it'll do. Alright, I still don't have a solid plan, and I'm just never gonna. What I'm thinking we're gonna do, now that we actually have my end pin jack in hand, we will find the right sized Forstner for that and dig that through a ways, and then we're gonna just make our best guess on where to put our cavity. And the little template we made the other day, we're just gonna make a cavity, and then we'll see where controls will fit from there, and it'll be okay. Now, realistically, we only need to go in like a 1/4 inch or so, maybe a little more, but it doesn't need to be much. Ooh, which is a good thing, because it's gonna be hard to reach much. Now, the original Forstner was nice enough to leave us a point. That's probably far enough, but if we go just a little further, because one of the problems we're going to have is trying to, identify exactly where that is so we can figure out exactly where to put that cavity. I think we're probably good. We can't go very much further anyway. Well, that wasn't scary or nothing. Actually, it was alright. Okay, best I can do, I took calipers and looked at, with the angle, how far it is from the bottom of that hole to the corner, which puts me just behind the line that I drew, and the same over here. So I think this line that we drew is pretty representative of the bottom of that hole. So I think I drew another line, I don't know, like a 1/2 inch behind that. And I think if we line up our template on that, we'll be good. So, how would this go? I think I can live with that. Yeah. This is 1 1/4 inches. That's a big boy. Mapping out a plan of attack, hopefully with some overlap. I'm a poet and didn't even know it. better edit that shit out. As far as depth goes, my initial instinct is, we're gonna go a ways, and you know, it's mahogany. It'll be all right. The router will handle final depth. We do need to leave. Well, you know, I think probably we're gonna need a little more than the maple top for the pots that we have, but I don't know just yet. So right now we're just working on getting a hole. And I can see our little in-pin jack hole. Okay, this is happening. Looking at our pots, looks like we need like only like 3/8 material to face them. So this first pass isn't even going to get down where we were, but we'll ultimately wind up going deeper. So we opened up to our cable channel, and we've got, now this will need to come down a little bit, which would be perfect. It will give us just enough room to be able to screw the nut onto the thingy-ma-dealy whopper, and it'll be cool. Now we could actually plan our pots and poke the holes for them, and then work the cavity down to depth. So yeah. All right. Well, this, along with, you know, this kind of dictates what we have for a cavity, and the cavity kind of dictates where the controls are going. So. Looking at those big fat push-pull pots, I made sure I had room in these two areas, and then equidistant from that, put our blend pot in the corner. I don't know exactly how it's going to look on the face, but I don't have the luxury of really rearranging it too much, so we're just going to poke these damn holes and it'll work out. One of the reasons we should have waited on the stain until all this was done. I just couldn't do it. Couldn't wait. Thanks for joining me. If you like what we're doing, if you're digging it, like and subscribe. Catch you next time.